It's Madden NFL 24, and the focus is on Courtland Sutton. He's coming off a week where he lit up the defense and the stat sheets. It's the Broncos and the Commanders next on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Today, after a topsy-turvy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here, as it'll be the Washington Commanders taking on the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They've been buoyed by getting 2 home games right at the start, and they come off a good victory in week 1.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
But meanwhile, for the visiting Commanders, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
2 teams here fresh off week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. The Commanders set to go to work on offense, and they've handed the controls to this man in his 2nd NFL season, former Tar Heel Sam Howell.
Howell got the nod from Commanders leadership to be the team starter this year. A nice bump for last year's 5th-round pick. 1 start as a rookie and didn't look bad at all, winning the team's finale. And let's not forget, this is a guy who was once viewed as a 1st-round pick, so there's plenty of promise hidden beneath the surface.
Now the 2nd-year man from Alabama, it's Brian Robinson. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down. This defense for the Broncos, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
You talk about getting off to a hot start, a shutout right out of the gate. Think of the carryover headed into this one, the residue of that game. That means excellent practices, guys alert, ready to go. They'd love to hang a second one right here, right now.
And a 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Still very early in the season, obviously, CD, but already key injuries that they've had to deal with.
And what's really difficult for a team is to try and maintain their focus when they feel like they've been a little bit snake-bitten. It feels like every time they turn around, another injury crops up. How do they manage to hang together, get guys to play a little bit above their heads, and make sure that they're still afloat when their starters make it back?
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pickup there, a 22.
First down, Commanders.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Now Howell. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And pressure coming, and they got it once again. Josie Jewell, the linebacker, getting the sack. They'll make that a 2nd sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
But they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
Tressway on 4th down is sent out to punt. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. Well, the Broncos offense gets set to go to work, and at the helm in his second season wearing orange and blue, Russell Wilson.
And normally in this spot, we talk about passing numbers from last week, but this time, it's all about the rushing. 3 times he found the end zone in his last ball game. He is a do-everything quarterback, and you have to expect we'll see him call his own number here as well.
Now Wilson on first down. Flushed out right. Yeah, he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cooler as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
Now Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. You talk about this Washington defense. They've been very good against the pass so far this year. Number 4 in the NFL right now.
And hey, they were stingy in the opener. Didn't allow much of anything at all through the air. So now they come into week 2 saying, hey, let's see if we can do even better. Let's go and get to that number 1 spot.
And they move this all the way down to the 9. 23 yards, the final tally.
A first down there for Sutton, and he had over 800 yards for Denver last season. Productive, tall target, the Broncos going to make sure they hang on to despite increased trade interest.
Here we go now on first and goal. Wilson. Eluding the pressure. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. The sack will push him back only a couple yards, but certainly not what they were hoping for on first and goal. On second down, Wilson. And this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos are on the board first here this afternoon. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. First down, Howell to throw. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Howell from the gun. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. He's a 3rd-round pick, not rounds 1 or 2, but this franchise, they think he can be something with time.
There were a few teams that thought he would go in the first round, late in the first round. He ends up sliding to the 3rd. So a lot of teams think now maybe this group got to steal. They've got a chance.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Here's Tressway now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. So here are the Broncos to take over on offense. They were winners last week defeating the Raiders, and right now they're in the driver's seat here as they start off 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. On the slant, completes to Sutton. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco 1st down. Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And the Broncos are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
That's a big league job there of getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
Flush to his right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Russell Wilson, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Broncos have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
And that's a sight we feel like we've seen a lot over his career. But remember, for Russell Wilson, 3 in his first year as a Bronco last year and only 15 in the last 8 years. But he still knows how to use those wheels when necessary, and he takes care of business right there.
Lutz good on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. So out comes Washington's offense to take over. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. 1st and 10 here for Hal and the Commanders at their own 25-yard line. He'll get it to Robinson to begin the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
I'll tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence, haven't allowed a point yet, flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Hal throwing on 3rd down here. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, we did it all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. Open man, and again it's Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos! Cortland Sutton with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, this offensive unit, they were solid in the opening week victory, and now they are looking just as sharp here in week 2.
And that's exactly what you want, too, because you want to get better each and every week and really ramp up as the season goes on. I know it's still early in the season and a lot can happen, but this offense, they look like they're going to be fun to watch each and every time out.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it is now 21-0. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2.
Set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now he'll look to throw it. Finds his big tight end, Mo Alley-Cox. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. And Howe will throw it. Flushed out right. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Here's Howe to throw on 2nd down. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big 3rd down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Howell down to throw it. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. Here's Smith to return it. A good kick that time, but also a pretty good 15-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Broncos and Courtland Sutton heading back out there, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes.
Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Broncos continue to pull away here in this first half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there. Unable to do so, that makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Washington going to go on offense now late in this first half. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. They'll throw on first down. Here's Howell. Quick slant, Dotson. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Second down, Howell now. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Martin, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting to 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. Here's a screen for Robinson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. And once more, Howell back to the air. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given them a lot to think about, a lot of different...
And the defense, they get to Howell. He'll go down here. Ndamukong Suh with a sack. We've seen that a ton since he entered the league in 2010. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll start up at Highmark Stadium, just outside of Buffalo, where you see the final score there. Josh Allen, couple of touchdown passes as his guys win their 2nd straight to start the year. From there, we move to H-Town to check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Indianapolis Colts. C.J. Stroud, 2 touchdown passes as his guys make amends for the setback in Week 1. Lastly, let's get out to Jacksonville. See what's happening with the Jaguars at TIAA Bank Field. And they were losers in that game as they fall to the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, 3 touchdown passes as his guys moved to 2-0 on the young season. In the first half, we saw a strong performance out of the veteran quarterback, Russell Wilson. He was downright amazing with 3 touchdown passes and another one scored on the ground for good measure. These 2 coaching staffs likely going through their final adjustments for the second half. One of these teams is going to emerge 2-0. But who will it be? To find out, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. welcome you back for quarter number 3. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. Taken at the goal line. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Now Cortland Sutton and the rest of the offense getting ready for their next drive. Now, this defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over to our team so we don't have to cover him anymore? Because he is really having a heck of a ball game, isn't he?
Boy, he is. I don't know that a mid-game trade's going to happen, but good thought.
That's an excellent play by the defender. He diagnosed that one, closed quickly, and helped force the incompletion.
Now Wilson on second down. He completes this to Sutton. Now he's loose down the middle of the field. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Broncos come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. And certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game. Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game. Lutz with the extra point, and that makes this 35-0 now. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. First possession of the second half now for Washington. Howell and the Commanders come up now 1st and 10 at their own 21. He'll start with a give to Robinson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Back to throw. Howell coming across the field. get this one across the 35.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now.
Now they go play action with Howell. And the Broncos get there and take him down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sand.
Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
And some room to roll now. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Caught the defense off guard there a bit on 2nd and long, but now you still have to deal with 3rd and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one, that maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 41-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the first half. They really struggled to try and move the football. But right now, they certainly seem to have the formula working. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. Throwing here, Howell. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Second and 10 now, 3rd quarter action in Denver. Another throw for Howell. And this is caught at the 8. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
9th play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. Out of the gun, it's Howell. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. Alex Singleton making the play defensively.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Now Zane Gonzalez for the field goal try. This just 32 yards officially from the right hash. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. But down this big, we know that they need touchdowns instead of field goals, but now it's add insult to injury because they can't even get the 3, Charles, on the excellent block there by the special teams.
And it certainly felt to me like the special teams consider themselves an extension of the defense, which has played well for them. They have a nice cushion. They didn't want to allow any points, any opportunity to cut into their lead. A big-time play by those guys on that side of the ball.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 36-yard line.
Throwing is Wilson, eluding the pressure right. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. On the slant, completes to Sutton. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 3 quarters in the books. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Now this offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He's got his target. That's complete. And they're going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 20-yard line. 18 big yards on that one and a Denver first. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on 1st down. Touchdown! Cortland Sutton, a 20-yard touchdown. And the Broncos are on their way to a 2-0 start. Now, I tell you what, Charles, I know that you don't put a ton of stock into power rankings and things of that nature, but another score here, and 2 weeks into the season, this is maybe the most impressive team in the NFL. Would you agree?
Well, they've certainly sold me as they've sold you, and I agree with you, no question about it. They won easily last week. They're on their way to another lopsided victory here. They're definitely a team to be reckoned with, and they are serving notice to the rest of the league.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. And Cortland Sutton able to finish things off with the touchdown reception.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Washington offense set to take over. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result. Pardon my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
Well, I wish this staff luck as they try to find positives about this performance by their offense as we move through the early part of the fourth quarter. That sack, the latest example. Down by a boatload, this offense simply can't keep up, and the quarterback is still taking hits. I'd get the backups in there if it were me.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, you're in the fourth quarter here. You've held the team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. That's returnable now for Smith. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Broncos and Courtland Sutton heading back out there. Last drive, the touchdown, 4 catches. Really good. He was. They were not good on the other side trying to stop him. What do they need to do?
Well, this is where the entire staff has to get involved because we always focus on the defensive coordinator. But he needs help from other people with their eyes and their expertise, and he needs to listen to them. And sometimes you just can't afford to wait on a drive and say, okay, let's get to the sidelines and start over. You need to find a way in the middle of that drive to start taking away what's hurting you.
Yeah, in-series adjustments, and how do you do that?
Well, what you do is you listen to what everyone else is telling you, what they're seeing, the pattern.
And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And he's going to be out, down inside the 20 at the 15. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Carter, even I can figure out who deserves the lion's share of credit for their lead right now because he has been terrific in a dual threat role, really chewing up yardage and getting them points with his legs. Simply put, that defense has had no way of stopping him, and that's why his side is on top.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Wilson wants to throw it. Flush to his right. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
This is a rarity in the NFL, a 100-yard game on the ground for a quarterback. Even as those passers get more athletic and mobile, we only see about 5 of these a season. Takes a special...
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling, but inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was Russell Wilson finishing things off with a touchdown run. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And the Washington offense heading out. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the 4th quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Charles, they're still airing it out at this point despite that huge lead. And some people may be saying, well, why are they throwing the football? These guys, I guess, are just padding their stats at this point.
Yeah, there are a lot of big grins, I think, from people in their families, from themselves. You're exactly right. Pad the stats when you get an opportunity. It'll certainly help you come contract time.
Oh, Wilson going to throw. The quick slant caught, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Washington ready to try again on offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Alex Singleton, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now Howell. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Well, the defense, they get to Howell. He'll go down here. DJ Jones coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That's taken at around the 40. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Charles, when you look at the stat sheet, you realize that both sides of the ball were so dominant in this game. And on offense, not only did they score it, but they did it through the air as well as on the ground. Everything was working.
And you know that the guys who scored the touchdowns, who contributed that way, that threw them or ran them, they're going to find our cameras and have a big grin for them. But I hope our cameras find that offensive line. How versatile were they? Move the ball on the ground, move people so they could run it, and then protected their passers. So